Canadian families are spending more on their taxes than on necessities like food, shelter and clothing combined. At least that is according to a study done by the Fraser Institute, a conservative think tank. There are certainly lots of folks in this country who think that we are way too taxed and that it's getting worse. Not the view of everyone, of course. My next guest joining us from Ottawa is Andrew Jackson from the Broadbent Institute, an institute founded by Ed Broadbent, of course, former longtime leader of the New Democrats. And Andrew joins us from our studios in the capital. Let's talk a little bit about your reaction to this. Getting a lot of traction, but break it down in your mind.
Well, they've released this report for years, every year, and it doesn't really get better. And it's a really flawed methodology in many ways. I mean, when they talk about the tax burden, they throw in everything but the kitchen sink. Even royalties on natural resources get thrown in there as taxes. They look at taxes as a share of income, constructing an average family, but the reality is how much a family pays in taxes depends very much where they sit on the overall income spectrum. So affluent families actually do pay taxes at something like the rates the Fraser Institute is talking about, but ordinary families, people in the middle class, certainly lower income families, don't pay anything like that in taxes. And then they convey the impression that taxes have been going up when actually, if you look at this report, their own figures show that the percentage of income going to taxes has been falling over the last ever since 2000.
So, Andrew, do you think there's a case for cutting taxes in this country? I mean, we're looking at a board right now just showing 1961 versus 2014, and the tax burden going up by about, give or take, 8% or so between those 2 years, give or take, 50 years, 53 years. What do you think? I mean, is there a case for trimming them, or do you think that they're just about right?
Well, let's not forget, if you go back to 1961, there was no Medicare system in Canada. We had a far smaller post-secondary education system. There was no Canada pension plan in place. So I think it's absolutely legitimate for Canadians to expect good programs and services delivered efficiently in return for their taxes. But, you know, it's nonsense to say that taxes don't go to pay for necessities. Everything from water to sewers to healthcare to education comes from taxes. So absolutely we should look at taxes, but let's not forget the services and programs that they pay for.
Andrew Jackson with the Broadbent Institute in Ottawa. Thank you for taking time. I see it's rainy there in the capital. We appreciate you making your way to our studios.
All week, I'm afraid.
Okay.